And we are live. Welcome to the NBA Strategy Show. It is Thursday, May 15th. I am Josh Engleman, here to break down just one game. Game 6, Nuggets, Thunder. We're here to see if OKC can send the Nuggies home. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. Well, any Knicks fans in here? You guys gonna be quiet today? Who's chirping today? We got one. We got one. Lot of talk. Yeah, beat by 20 yesterday. A lot of zipping it. Where y'all at? I'm guessing y'all ain't showing up today. I'm here every day. I take the brunt of it. Where y'all? Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. We got to remember, guys, the team that wins a series isn't necessarily the best team. Kudos, though, if they do. I don't know what the deal is with Porzingis, man. That's tough. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. Which really doesn't make things easier if you're trying to go and pick up a game 6 and a game 7, you know? But they're live. I mean, I don't think the Knicks are exactly feeling healthy. We got some interesting changes in game 5 that I kind of want to touch on before we get started. Because we only got Nuggets OKC. I've got Sims pulled up on the screen right now, but I want to talk through a couple of things that we saw from yesterday. And this is the first one. This was the one that I definitely didn't see coming. Drew Holiday ended up being the primary matchup on Karl Anthony Towns. That had been largely a Jason Tatum job for the beginning of this series. And honestly, I was a little surprised. I didn't know if they would go there from the size, because I thought they would go to more of Drew on to Jalen Brunson. But if Drew Holiday can hold up on Karl Anthony Towns, and at the very least he was able to do so in game 5, that's intriguing. I mean, he's certainly strong enough-ish to do it if we're talking about on a switch. If you can keep him off the boards in any way, that will be helpful. Obviously, Towns isn't really playing on the perimeter right now, but that's no threat. So by going to Drew on Towns, they were actually able to go to Jaylen Brown aggressively on Jalen Brunson, which ended up being, totally fine. He was able to take that matchup. Honestly, I would have expected sort of the opposite. Brunson or Holiday to Brunson, Brown to Towns. But what happens in these situations now is if you've got Brown on Brunson and you've got Drew on Towns, Boston doesn't give a shit about switching that pick and roll. So if you're bringing Towns up to set that pick and roll or pick and pop, whichever one, for Brunson, if the worst case scenario now is that Brown is getting switched on to Towns and Drew is picking up Brunson, I don't think Boston cares about that at all. So I'm a little curious to see what New York's change for this ends up being and what they'll try to do to change those matchups up again. But I was a little surprised to see that change. That wasn't what I was expecting. Now, when it comes to Jaylen Brown, he obviously got the OG and Anunoby treatment. That was obvious. That was always going to be what happened here. OG was just immediately going to Jaylen Brown, so that didn't seem very crazy. I mean, it's a very interesting dynamic if you look at Derek White, because, and I don't want to get too married to like closest defender data from tracking, but like they didn't give Derek White any shot attempts other than one field goal when it's Mikal Bridges, but it's everybody else. 5 of 7 on Towns, 3 of 5 from 3, 2 of 2 from 3 on Hart, even 4 more shots on Brunson. I almost want to like go back and watch whatever 5 minutes and 53 seconds this is, because that just seems like a really weird breakdown. You know, Josh Hart primary matchup on Drew is kind of weird to me. I could see that moving as we head to the next game. I mean, they're just, do they want to try to take Pritchard out of that in a slightly different way? Because we obviously don't know what's happening with Porzingis at this point. Al Horford's just sort of getting anybody in a defensive matchup. I mean, Hauser's mostly useless. It all comes down to, how do you want to guard Luke Cornett? Because I think that's going to be the most interesting piece of what the Knicks can do defensively. Agreed, S&P. Agreed. So this is sort of the matchup that I'm a little curious about. If we're going to be getting more Luke Cornett in Game 6, and by all accounts, it seems like that just has to happen. What do they do defensively there? And how much do they want to try to like reverse engineer Cornett too? But I would not be surprised at all if we see Luke Cornett not guarded primarily for 7 minutes and 20 seconds by the 2 bigs. I can see that. Actually, let's look at one more thing. Let's look at, nope, not player tracking, wrong one. Nope, not advanced. Wait. Do they not have play type data immediately after games? Really? I can't check pick and rolls? For real? Guess not. All right, whatever. Guess I don't want to look at it. Yeah, Chris, they didn't play better without Tatum. What this does, like I get where you're going for it. What this does is sort of just make it so that they can't fuck around. Like the problem for, as weird as this sounds, like the fact that they have an embarrassment of riches, it almost gives them too many choices when everybody's healthy, and it allows them to get like paralyzed by the analysis of it all. When Kristaps Porzingis can't be out there and Jason Tatum's out, like everybody else just has to slot into a very specific spot. There's no ambiguity left. So they really can't get out of what they need to do because they don't have the choices. The second these guys start having all of the choices, like, yeah, that's great when it's working and they're beating the shit out of everybody because everything's clicking and the raw talent just carries it. But when it stops clicking, I think they get paralyzed by their opportunities of having the ability to kind of do anything. Now they don't have that. They just have to focus at one task at hand, which I hope is all they need to do for the next 2 games. Because let's be clear here. If the Celtics win on Friday, and I'm not confident, I mean, it's a tough spot. They're still the better team, no matter what anybody wants to think. It's going to be tough. If they win game 7 on Friday, y'all better look out Tuesday morning. It's going to be tough scenes in here Tuesday morning. Because I'm going to talk that ish. Just because it'll be fun. It doesn't make me any more right or wrong. I don't look at the results any differently. But we got a hell of a game on Friday that's going to be wild. Because do we have salaries yet? I didn't even think about this. Do we have DraftKings salaries yet? I mean, S&P, the line's 2 on on Friday. It's close. It's a coin flip. Put it this way, S&P. What it really is and what people think it is, I'm way closer than everybody else. Okay, we don't have. Oh, it's Showdown. Shit. I keep forgetting that it's not a 2 game because I wanted to see what Porzingis' salary was going to be. We don't even have Showdown salaries for it yet. I forgot that it's not a 2 gamer. I wanted to see if Porzingis' price went down because we're absolute. Like, you got to play Porzingis again, I think. Yeah, Andrew, not the same thing. I get where you're going with it, though. You're surprised I'm doing a show today. Dude, I'm going to do a show every single day until this is over. Got to talk about the game from yesterday, which was incredibly interesting. I mean, the thing about Boston now is their defense is still pretty damn good. And I think that's going to carry them in a pretty big way. I mean, we could look at it here, actually. Let's go to Boston, all 5. And let's say Horford, Drew. I'll even leave Porzingis out. Let's treat him as dead for right now. Let's use those guys. And then I won't even add Kata. Opponent stats for the entire season with those guys. They played 327 minutes. They've been a negative 57 in that time with just those guys. 117.9 defensive rating, not ideal. But if you can play more of Horford, Drew, Brown, White, and less of Pritchard, Hauser from a defense standpoint, I think the defense can improve there. They're also opponents are shooting 39.5% from 3 against them. That's kind of rough luck. Shot quality is nothing crazy. Pritchard's held up better on D than I expected. Cornette not going to block 7 shots again? I mean, he might. He might. He can. I guess. I mean, how good of a... What was his block rate this year? I mean, he's a 96th percentile block rate guy on EPM. I mean, he's got to be one of the higher rates in the league. Let's see where he ranks. All right, can I filter this for people that play a little bit more? Let's say greater than 8 minutes a game. Where's he high in? Why can't I find? Where is he? Am I missing? Why am I missing his name? All right, 2.5. So there we go. 28th. 28th of anybody that is projected to play 8 minutes a game or more. He can block them shots. I mean, when you're getting Brunson into the paint, Hart into the paint, Bridges to a degree, like McBride, those guys are little-ish. I mean, he was going to get paid one way or the other. I mean, he's one of the, let's just do this. He's one of the 30 best centers in the league. So what do we want to do with that kind of information? I don't know. Not something that I typically want to pay for, because I think 15 through 40 are probably all pretty similar. But I mean, he's going to make real money in the offseason. I mean, obviously not a lot of usage, but exceptional offensive rebounder, solid defensive rebounder, stylistically a little bit different. Gonna protect the rim. He was a positive on offense and defense. This guy playing, 24 minutes a night is going to be worth $20 million. If you want to play him a little bit more, would you rather have him or Clint Capella next year? Just a conversation. All right, let's talk about this slate. Been here for a bit now. You know what? Maybe we won't talk about this slate just yet, because I got one more for everybody, right? You guys like Portfolio EV? The promo code is alive. The Boston Celtics are still alive in these playoffs, and we want to give you the Portfolio EV tool at oddshopper.com. And honestly, this one's going to be pretty good. This is a massive deal. Do you know why it's a massive deal? It's because of yesterday's game. I am running this deal for you guys specifically because Boston beat the Knicks yesterday by 25 points. The final score was 127 to 102. What can we do with a 25-point win? That seems like an interesting question. What can we do with a 25-point win? How could I pay that forward to you guys? Maybe, just maybe, we'll do a monster deal for the Portfolio EV tool if that's what you guys want to do. So the promo code is alive. The Knicks are still alive. $25 for a month of the Portfolio EV tool. I wanted to do $25 for 25 days, but I don't want to make it that complicated. Let's just do $25 for a month. That's 75% off Odd Shopper and the Portfolio EV tool. If you guys want to sign up for it right now, the promo code is alive. There's a link in the description. Just head on over to oddshopper.com. I couldn't even say that. Oddshopper.com. Click that link. Enter the promo code alive when you check out. You'll get the whole month for $25. 75% off. Yes, that is what we've got going on here today. We got to celebrate. I got to give you guys something if my Celtics are doing this. Let's try this graphic. Is this one better? Let's try this one. I made two. The promo code is alive. Oddshopper.com. 75% off. The next 30 days of Portfolio EV for $25. Let's see right now what we have available over on the portfolio EV tool. Let's check it out. We got some bets available. Surely we do. And as per usual, completely right. Tons of baseball stuff out there. DeGrom strikeouts, a couple home run props out there right now. Since it's an NBA show, I'll take a look on the NBA side. Multiple bets here. We've got Christian Brown over 1.5 threes on DraftKings. We've got Jokic under 14.5 rebounds on BetMGM. I mean, right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold on, that was Boston. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 bets right now on the NBA side. Obviously, it's refreshing every couple seconds, but there's a lot out there just for OKC and Denver right now. And that says nothing for some of the other sports that are out there, like baseball, for instance, like the WNBA, which is here now, which Portfolio EV absolutely slaughtered last year. I could show you guys that. You can go into the Portfolio lab. Is the easiest thing to do. And I'm just going to create a new portfolio. I'm just going to leave all of the North Carolina books that I have available checked. So anywhere that I can be, I'll just leave it checked for right now. I'm just going to grab WNBA. Now, you can set some criteria here if you want. I'm going to leave it at anything higher than a 2 odd shopper rating. And I'm not going to say anything else. Just anything WNBA 2 or higher. If I click view markets, over the last year, everything that you see here is on the screen. 3% historical ROI on WNBA as a whole. But you can dig that in to individual markets and individual sports books. And you can see that all on the screen right now. You want points props? Maybe your biggest concern is points props. Well, you can just select points props if you want to look at that market. I'll select all those sports books. That's almost an 8% historical ROI last year on just points props. And other than Fanatics, we are technically positive everywhere. Now, maybe that's all you want. All you have to do is click this Save Portfolio button and name it. You can name it WNBA Points. Now, if you leave that notification button checked and I click Save Portfolio, anytime a points prop matches these criteria, I'm going to get an alert on my computer and on my phone to place that bet at whichever sportsbook it just recommended it for. It's that simple. And you guys can get it all right now. 75% off, $25 for the next month. The promo code is alive because the Celtics are still alive without Jason Tatum and with whatever the hell is happening to Kristaps Porzingis. Now, let's talk basketball. I'm going to pull up the data hub here for everybody just to take a quick lap through the stats. We're not going to get too crazy here. We kind of know what we're doing. You know, I don't think there's a lot of weird stuff that's going to happen in this game, particularly from the Denver side, who don't really have many options left at this point. So, unsurprisingly, on the DraftKings side, you're looking at pretty sizable ownership for Nikola Jokic at the captain spot. He's 13-8, not captain. And he is currently projected for 29% ownership. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is $1,400 cheaper than Jokic, projected for about half of the captain ownership. A much worse value, at least as of right now. And then you get into sort of the next tier of Murray, Jalen Williams, and Chet. And then you sort of step into another tier of like Aaron Gordon and Hartenstein and Christian Brown. I expect Oklahoma City to win. I think Denver is just sort of running out of gas, and I don't think it's possible for OKC to run out of gas. Riggs, you're good, buddy. Sorry, my dog was just gobbling himself. It was a really terrible sound. The one thing that I do find interesting is very balanced ownership overall, or like just, the flex. It's very flat in this mid 30s. And then as of right now, value play du jour is Peyton Watson. We'll see what that ends up looking like, but 1,600 for Watson. He is the guy sort of pulling the most ownership. But like, in my mind, I want to go to a little bit more of Shea than Jokic because I just don't like this spot for Denver. But Shea is a much worse play, and it's a lot easier to just have Jokic and find other Thunder guys. So the first thing I want to do now is I'm just going to generate the entire contest. So let's just see what the exposures look like if I take my top 150 on DraftKings. Let's generate a 5,000 lineup pool and treat it like it's the mini max or something. And we'll run these lineups and we'll take a look and see what it looks like. By the way, hit the like button if you can. It would help us out a ton. Let me get the schedule for the rest of the day. Don't have it. Great. Okay. What time's the game tonight? Me and someone are going to be on live before lock tonight from 8 to 8:30. Playback will be open. Greg and I will not be hopping on playback for this one. You'll get me on playback for like game 7s that are real, not for this one. So we only have tonight NBA from 8 to 8:30. It's either myself and Greg or myself and Eric. You'll have an MLB show today with Laffy, probably in a half hour. Some sort of MLB live before lock. Let's see. There's MLB schedule sucks today too. I don't know when Laffy's going live, but the evening schedule. Wow, there's just really not a lot of sports today, are there? Not a great schedule. But I'm going to be here talking basketball as much as you'll want me to. All right, let's see what the showdown sim ends up looking like. Yeah, I mean, golf. There you go. Nolan, that's a great point. It's a golf day. PGA kicking off today. Go Patrick Cantlay. Did he win it yet? That would be helpful. It'd be really cool if Patrick Cantlay were in first by 27 strokes. Might be a little early for that, though. Trevor, I hope you're not serious. Oh, Cantlay, 2 over so far. Yeah, playing like shit. You are correct, Ghetto Farmer Boy. You are correct. All right, lineups are done. So let's set up some thresholds and see what we like here. Trust me. Thanks, guys. Appreciate the help. All right. Highest projection is 229.24. Highest ownership is 195.4. So I'm going to set an ownership threshold. Of 176 and another ownership threshold of 98. And I want the score to be at least 229 times 0.9, 206. And then I would prefer to lower my dupes. So let's say, and we'll just take that one for right now. All right, top 150. This is what my exposures would look like on DraftKings if I was just putting my lineups in right now. So at the captain, we would be looking at a gigantic stand on Nikola Jokic and essentially spot on the field for everyone else, or a giant decrease. Basically, no Hartenstein for me, a little bit lighter on Jalen Williams without the Y, and just giving it all to Jokic. It's just Jokic, Jokic, Jokic. But the flex is where we see the swings. So let's look through the leverage for right now. Guys I'm most over the field on: Russell Westbrook, Jalen Williams with a Y, Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, Cason Wallace. I got to be honest. That makes some sense to me. If I'm going to get to this game, particularly in a showdown variety, getting to the random OKC dudes just makes sense in my head. Because I don't ever have any real confidence of who the, like, out of their extra 7 dudes, who's going to be the number 1 or number 2, whether that's Jalen Williams, Aaron Wiggins, Joe, or Wallace. Like, they haven't needed Isaiah Joe in this series, and defensively, it's not necessarily the best for him, but if he's going to be the flat 1K, like, there's going to be a scenario every once in a while where he goes out there and he does make like 3 threes in the first quarter, and all of a sudden it's just like, oh, he's already optimal. That's the weird thing with someone like Isaiah Joe, because more often than not, he ends up being a massive bust. But if he is even like mildly hot early, he locks himself into a winning lineup spot before the first quarter ends. Honestly, Jose, I don't really have any shit to talk. That's the thing. It's like, I don't care about any one of these individual games. But everybody thinks that every individual game is like the most important event in the history of evaluating basketball, and that's just not what happens. So you get into these situations. I like getting to this Oklahoma slop at the bottom. Here are the fades, though: Peyton Watson, Jalen Williams without the Y, Caruso, Aaron Gordon, SGA. I mean, those are the real names. That's the scary side of this one. But, like, I'm more than okay being light on Peyton Watson, especially if I think Denver loses, or if it's close. Like, I'll take my chances on a guy that I don't think is anything interesting. And then, you know, obviously you're fading something. Do I like being on the wrong side of Jalen Williams and SGA? No. But if my stands are going to be the extra guys, I think I kind of like that here. Chrome Heart says OKC should lock it up tonight, but if they don't, game 7 is anyone's game. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's much more of Oklahoma City's game than it is Denver's game. They will be double-digit underdogs, so, you know, kinda. Yes, I agree that anyone can win that game once it starts, but I would probably reallocate those proportions a little bit. What do you guys like today in this game? Because obviously we have these different ranges where you're probably making some sort of decision between Jokic and SGA. And then you're stepping into like a very different tier for Murray, Williams, and Chet. And then you're in that other tier of Gordon, Hartenstein. Like, there's pretty clear delineation on the DraftKings side today. And I'm wondering where people, like, this is odd. Like, the salary structure today is sort of like tiers for a showdown. Because, like, if you're taking Jokic and SGA, you're probably making a pretty dog shit lineup for the rest of it. Like, what's my highest ranked one? That would be Jokic, Chet, Joe, Watson, Westbrook, SGA. Yeah, you're not going to be happy about that. Gary, you're like an SGA? I get it. I get it. Let's see if I can build one on my own that I like. What's the payout structure on DraftKings today? I'm guessing it's 35, but let me look. Hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. And don't forget, the greatest promo in the history of promos. The promo code is alive. 75% off a month of Portfolio EV. $25 for the next 30 days. 25 points representing the margin of victory yesterday with essentially no Kristaps Porzingis and no Jason Tatum. Excuses be damned. All right. The main is 100, 400, so 25%. Got it. All righty. I mean, it feels like I got to go Jokic captain. Just because he's projected for 18 more points at captain. So if I'm going Jokic captain, now we get weird. Give me Jalen Williams with a Y. Give me Cason Wallace. Give me Aaron Wiggins. Now, if this gives me... What is this going to give me? Other Jalen Williams and SGA. So 5-1 OKC onslaught Jokic captain. I mean, I got to see it. Trevor, why are you being weird, man? I don't even know. Did you even know what you're saying? Weird, degenerate, and chalky? Take a break, brother. I don't think you understand what you're saying. And it's coming off poor. I don't mean like financially. Not well. 34.5, not bad. Could probably improve that. If I take Jalen Williams without the Y out and replace him with Chet, does that ownership discount help? News God, we didn't need to do that, man. I'm going to go ahead and undo that if I can. That's not necessary. I don't know how to undo that. Undo that if you can. I don't like that. Negative 2.9. Well, I guess Chet's not the answer. Is there like a negative for body weight? Those that's 2.2 points, I guess. What if I remove Jalen Williams with the Y and go to Chet? Okay, if you remove Jalen Williams with the Y, Peyton Watson has the better projection, but you double your ownership. So that's not worth it. So what if it's Case and Wallace that's got to go? And Chet. Does that allow me? What if I take Russell Westbrook right there? 3-3, I don't think I'm going to like here. And 19, yeah, I'm not surprised there. I just want to hit one that's at like 108 or something. I feel like it's in my fingertips and I just can't get it to pop out here. Yeah. The first one was the best one. Let's check FanDuel. It's going to be a lot of the same story here on the FanDuel end. I've got it pulled up right now. The only main difference that I see on FanDuel today is just the pricing between Jokic and Shea. Jokic is 17-2 on FanDuel. SGA is 14-2. And that salary gap is bringing their value closer to each other. But it's also allowing SGA to be rostered in the captain spot in a much closer way than it is on DraftKings. So the relationship between Jokic and SGA on FanDuel is a lot more interesting than it is on DraftKings. The gap on DraftKings, I think, is a bit too big and makes sense. And it should be Jokic. Here, we're seeing it equalize a little bit. But after that, it's sort of the same situation. You've got that Murray, Jalen Williams, Chet tier. You get into that Hartenstein and Gordon, and then you're into, like, I guess, Christian Brown in that group, and then you're just into the value. Now, the value is going to be a little bit different here. Like, Isaiah Joe is a lot less interesting on FanDuel. What else? Like, Peyton Watson's not as owned on FanDuel at 1,200 because value's a little different. Salaries are a little different. You can spend up a little bit more and get a little bit higher on the totem pole from the FanDuel side. Obviously, like, I don't expect Denver to do much rotationally. They don't have a lot of things they could try at this point. You can only dust off your Julian Strother so much before it fails. OKC is the one where they can kind of throw anything at it and give it their best shot. So if we wanted to build out FanDuel, this does feel like a spot where I'm going to put Shea in at the MVP. That will then open me up for everything okay. Andrew, not something that I would actively be trying to do. You don't have to make bad lineups to be different. They can still just be good too. All right, best value guys after that. I mean, I guess I have to have. Let's see what happens if I fade Jokic. Is that even feasible? Feels like the answer probably has to be no, but we'll find out. So if I take Caruso, Dort, Brown, Murray, and Jalen Williams, that leaves me 81. All right, so I can upgrade massively. So let's upgrade Caruso to Chet, and we'll upgrade Christian Brown to Isaiah Hartenstein. I gotta see what this is. 1,700 left on the table. 5-1 OKC onslaught with just Jamal Murray. And 1,700. This is gonna be like negative 90. Whoa! 7.2. I mean, okay. Do I have a better option than Dort? Is it that simple? Okay, so if I put in MPJ over Dort right there, I think this is going to be like a oddly positive lineup. Because I just took on extra fantasy points and no additional ownership. This is going to be like 40 or 50. 2. Why 2? I don't get it. That makes no sense. Lou Dort and Michael Porter Jr. have the same ownership. But I added 2.5 fantasy points at no cost. That makes no sense. Is there a different guy that I should do that with then? If I take Hartenstein out. If I take Hartenstein out and replace him with Aaron Gordon, that should also get better. There it is. 37 with no Jokic. Oh! And I accidentally hit back. Is it still there? Good. 37% with no Jokic. SGA captain Chet, Dort, Gordon, Murray, Jalen Williams. That's not bad. That's not bad. Is there a way to make that better without Jamal Murray? No. I'm guessing that ends up being too big of a discount, dropping down to Christian Brown. All right, guys, who wins? Who wins today? Thunder sending them home? Nuggets forcing game 7? What happens? Yeah, that makes sense. Can't be Christian Brown, giving up way too much. Who wins? Obviously, I expect OKC to pick up the dub here. Denver, OKC. Yeah, I don't see it for Denver. I don't know how they do it. I'll never count Nikola Jokic out. You tell me Denver wins both of these games. I assume you're going to be showing me some stat lines from Jokic that look like I played a video game on rookie. It's those 40, 20, 10 joints. So I don't ever want to. I will never short sell Jokic. He's a different kind of dude to me. But I mean, like, they're just so thin. They're so thin that I don't know how they do it. So give me OKC. Let's end this series. Then we can watch them sleepwalk through Minnesota. Boy, oh boy, could I not be less interested in an OKC Minnesota series. That is not going to be tough for them in any way. And then they just waltz to an NBA title. It's going to be great. Don't forget, the promo code is alive. Oddshopper.com and the Portfolio EV tool. You guys can get it $25 for the next month. 75% off for 30 days. There's bets out there right now. Jokic under rebounds on BetMGM. You can get out in front of Towns right now, under 1.5 threes. Aaron Gordon, under 6.5 boards on NoVig. Hartenstein, under 10.5 points on NoVig. Mass bets, parlay builders, odds boost calculators, and more. Alrighty, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Keep your eyes peeled for the rest of our content. See you later today. NBA Live Before Lock, 8 to 8:30, breaking down Game 6, Nuggets and Thunder.